Am I the a-hole for calling my wife stupid?
Oh, this is not very holy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Am I the Devil? Where I'm the devil.
And I'm the angel.
Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I feel sorry she's lacking in intelligence after she weaponized a suggestion I made to her about spending?
Lacking intelligence? Huh? Oh my God.
My wife goes to a coffee house 2 to 3 times a week. She works from home and goes there frequently. We share a joint account and both have credit cards and the app. She discovered this coffee shop a month ago and gets at least 2 to 3 drinks, plus maybe a donut or a muffin every time.
That's a lot of money. That adds up.
Yeah, it does add up. If that's how she wants to spend her money, then she has a right to do that. If that's the only thing that she spends her money on, then I don't know if it's that big of a deal.
Okay, remember that when I go get a coffee, okay?
You get coffee regardless. Like, it's what you like doing. This has really increased some discretionary spending. I'm talking $9 lattes and $6 muffins, so it's significant. I approached my wife and asked her if she could mind cutting down those expenses a little bit. Or maybe if she feels like she has to buy something every time she goes, why doesn't she utilize the clubhouse in our apartment complex if she wants to go outside the house? We do well financially, but I don't like unnecessary spending. Okay. You sound a little controlling. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like a little controlling.
It's not like she's buying Chanel bags.
Yeah, no, she's just buying a cup of coffee and like she probably enjoys the experience of going out to a coffee shop and like spending the day there.
The same way, like I love our place, but I also like to go work somewhere else because I find it's just a mental break.
Totally.
You know, different juju.
Totally, I get it. She didn't take that well. And she powdered her face like a big baby and said, fine, she just won't do it anymore since I want her to lose her mind. This really annoys me. I say one thing and she takes it completely differently, making it impossible to have any kind of decent discussion with her. I actually agree with you, like this
fine, I'm not gonna do it anymore
attitude. It's like you're bringing something up that's like a suggestion, and like when people say like, why are you liking that girl's photos?
Fine, I'll just delete Instagram.
It's like, you know, it's kind of like an immature way of addressing the root issue.
But if she makes her own money, she can do whatever the hell she wants.
Yes, but that's different, right? Like if she makes her own money, then she has a right to spend it. She should have said that instead of, oh, I just won't go anymore, you know? This time, I didn't hold myself back from wanting to tell her something similar in energy and tone and said,
oh, I didn't realize you were either trying to punish me or are genuinely lacking in intelligence at what I said. I feel sorry for you.
I feel like sugarcoating this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just the way he's talking about her. He's just so high and mighty, you know? We have to be smart with our spending.
You didn't need to go there, and like, I don't feel like you're right, you know? Some people enjoy the pleasures in life, and like I understand that you're frugal, but at the same time life is meant to be lived, and you say that you do well financially, and this is one thing that she enjoys doing. Like, I don't see you complaining about her having a shopping habit or like spending money on needless things. Like, often it's just she likes to sit and have some coffee and get a couple drinks and a muffin. It just doesn't really sound like they're in a bad spot with money. And like, I can understand wanting to like decrease spending if you're in a bad spot, but like if you're doing well, then who are you to tell her how she should spend money that she earns? I don't think that's fair.
Not very holy.
Of course, this annoyed her, and she asked me to say that again and if I meant to make her feel that way. I said, you heard what I said, and if it landed that badly, then I'm okay with her sitting in it for now, because lately she's been turning every discussion into an argument, and I'm no longer softening myself around her. It kind of also sounds like you're turning a simple discussion into an argument too. It doesn't need to like get to that point. It can just be like, listen, you know that I don't like spending. I'd appreciate it if, you know, you packed a coffee or something, or
sounds like he's infantilizing her a little bit.
She's your wife, not your child, and like she can spend her money how she wants to.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Hey, it's not about us. Hey, listen, when you told me you wanted to, I feel like this discussion about your coffee getting habits, it was just from you wanting to like save more. So if you've expressed that to me and I'm saying things like, think about how much money, like where's places that you could save? You could have your coffee at home. It's from like a place of like, you told me that you want to be able to save more. So I'm telling you some ways that you can do that.
If you buy a $1,000 coffee machine, you can make almost 3 coffees a day. And if you don't buy coffee for an entire year, you like pay it off essentially. You should just buy a nice coffee machine at home.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not about the coffee. It's about going to a different environment.
Yeah. And maybe she needs a little bit of space as well. And like, I'm sorry, if she's there all day, she does need to eat and drink. Like,
yeah.
You know, like it seems like this is a little more of a necessity than anything. If she's there all day and she's not eating at home, then she needs to eat and drink something when she's out.
Sounds like you tell her to do a lot of things if she's giving this reaction to you. Maybe she was receptive at first and then she felt like you were babying her and then she started reacting that way, and then you just reinforced her beliefs by infantilizing her.
Yeah, it sounds like there's definitely more arguments here. I personally think that she's not really going crazy. Like, she's just getting herself a couple cups of coffee and something to eat when she's working. And I think that's okay.
Don't be frugal. Let her have a strudel.
Yeah, come on. I think that what you said was rude, and I don't think it needed to get to that point. You telling her that she thinks that she's stupid, I think, is the real issue here. Let's read what the comment says. This is why people should have their own personal accounts separate from joint accounts. You may think her spending is unnecessary, but she likely thinks it's no big deal because she works too.
I need more context about this. Is he predominant breadwinner? Are they both even?
I mean, he hasn't really shared that. He says that she works from home, so she is earning her own money. Also, how petty of you. Restricting spending to strictly necessary purchases sounds like an exceedingly Spartan way to live. You're the a-hole. He was like very picky and choosy about what he didn't really get into like the other fights that they were having or anything. I'm curious to know what those other fights were about. And maybe that's partially why she doesn't want to like be at home around you much.
Working from home is tough. Hybrid, I think, is great. I used to love the journey of going to the office. You know, it was like, go to the office, you work, and then you come home, and then you like decompress, whatever. Whereas like when you're at home, it's the same even with like auditioning. You're here, you're like in your underwear and you're like, oh shoot, I got work in like 3 minutes. You put your pants on and you're there.
Yeah.
And then you turn it off and you're like, oh, I'm home already. It's a weird thing. You want to get into the house.
You want to be able to like turn your brain onto like work mode. I have no problem doing that, but I also miss going to like an office because it meant like picking an outfit every day and like doing your makeup and like, you know, you're out anyway. So maybe let's just like go for a walk.
Same.
You know, I think she has a right to do that.
Lots of people work at coffee shops.
Totally. You're the a-hole. Micromanaging your partner's discretionary spending on 2 to 3 coffee shop outings per week is controlling and inappropriate. Insulting her intelligence because she called you out for it while reluctantly agreeing to your request is immature and vindictive. It's time to separate your accounts and learn better communication skills. Yeah, this is why I also didn't like how she kind of immaturely kind of
said, well, I won't go anymore.
She also didn't need to respond like that. It also sounds like you guys don't really know how to communicate properly. I think better communication skills from both of you overall, but I definitely also think that you should apologize for calling her stupid. I personally think that people should have separate accounts. You know, it's like if you buy me a gift, I don't want you to use the money from the joint account.
Why not?
It'd be nice if, you know, like you work towards something and were able to buy me something. And same for me.
I would buy you a cloud if I could.
I know. You're my cloud.
Early congrats on your divorce. You're the a-hole. No one says things like this to their partners. It's okay to argue because life isn't perfect. But if you can't make it personal, it's either you change or something or get a divorce. If you really think your wife is stupid, why did you marry her? If you told her that just to hurt her, you are a big butthead.
I feel like there's just poor communication skills in this relationship.
Yeah, agreed. On both sides, but definitely with you. You shouldn't have called her stupid. I don't really think that she's stupid for wanting to like enjoy working for a day at a coffee shop a couple times a week.
Maybe you just need to let her do what makes her happy, like a little thing that makes her happy.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know context. Like
we don't have a lot of context. And interestingly, a lot of the times where people kind of know they're in the wrong, they don't share a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
They sugarcoat it. It's kind of like when a friend like tells you something that's wrong and they sort of like twist it to make it seem they're right in the scenario. That happens a lot with posts like this.
Also, like what we don't know, because again, I am the heavens advocate. I'm wondering, like, what if they're like maybe trying for a baby soon and they're like trying to watch their spending because they know it's going to be expensive.
But that wasn't shared though. Like I said, if you're in a position where you need to be saving and you've shared that with your partner and they keep needlessly spending on things, then it might be a good time to bring it up. Not call them stupid, but bring up, okay, well, let's look at the budget. Let's look how much you spend on this, this, and this. Like maybe you could cut down on Uber Eats because that's really expensive. Maybe you don't need to buy that 4th t-shirt in a different color, you know?
I don't have a problem with the confrontation. I have a problem with how he confronted her.
Totally. Agreed. I think it was really unnecessary and you should apologize to your wife. Like devil or angel, I feel like he's kind of a jerk. Like I wouldn't go so far as to say like you're a criminal and like a really terrible person, but you're kind of a jerk and you have been a jerk in this scenario.
I'd like to think that I could save you. I'd like to take you on my side because I feel like with better communication, you could express you want to have good spending habits. Okay. And that's why I kind of want him. I think maybe he's a purgatory because of how he handled the situation. I also don't like her reaction. And I just like the dynamics kind of messed up. I think, you know what I think? I'd like to have you both up to my cloud for a day for a little couples therapy. And I think that maybe we could just talk it out a little bit, you know? Because if you keep talking to your wife like this, it's not going to end well.
Down here with me. I agree with you. I feel like there's room for improvement. And I think if you apologize and you develop better communication skills, you might not get divorced. But unless you do that, I'm sorry, but you're going to be down here with me.
Because maybe she reacts that way because you talk to her that way.
Totally.
And this is like this negative feedback loop where she's like, and you're like, well, you're reacting like that, so I'm going to be.
Would I be the a-hole for uninviting my friend from my wedding?
Ooh, we got some wedding drama.
My friend and I have known each other for about a year, and we got instantly close when we met. And we hang out a lot and really skip past all the small talk, and we talk about the deepest things with each other. She is a compassionate and very positive person too. However, I'm an expat, and a lot of her friends are local, so because of the language, I don't hang out with them as a group. But she and I do separately, so I don't know her other friends that well. Her fiance and my fiance know each other from work. My fiance and I have our wedding this month, and they have their wedding in a year. They are invited to our wedding, and we to theirs. She spent a long time looking for a dress for my theme for my wedding and even showed me photos and went to a lot of trouble getting the dress and was so happy and made sure it fit my theme. She asked me how the planning is going all the time and shares their plan for that weekend to attend as well. Sounds great so far. I'm curious as to why you want to uninvite her. So yesterday, her fiance asked my fiance for lunch. Turns out her best friend has planned a bachelorette party for her the same weekend as our wedding. They are doing their civil wedding this year, so this is why it's earlier. And it's a surprise. So he was basically informing us that he will come, but she will not be coming. Of course, she does not know, but since we hang out, her fiance asked my fiance not to tell me until I have no more hangouts with her before the wedding, so as not to make it awkward. He asked my soon-to-be husband to lie to me, which I think is very strange and rude. Okay. My fiance was so mad at this, and of course, he told me straight away. He asked her fiance why he would say to her friends this weekend was available, and turns out this weekend was the best fit out of all our options, whatever that means. I think he messed up the planning for the weekends and is now using us to get out of the mess he made. But how will she feel when she's told all this the night before? And how am I supposed to act with her when we hang out when I know this whole thing? I won't lie to her that I have no idea and talk about how excited we are for the wedding day.
It's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah,
I don't think you should be mad at her.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think that you should be mad at her. She has literally no idea this is happening. My fiance will call him this evening and uninvite both of them and tell him he has told me they are not coming, but not the reason, as he doesn't want us to get involved in these lies for her fiance to get out of a situation. Since this is not a random plan, this is a wedding. He can't lie to me for weeks about this. When I see her and she mentions the wedding, I will just say that I'm sad that they both can't make it. And then her fiance can figure out a different lie to get out of this. Am I the a-hole for uninviting them both in this situation?
As far as I understand, the husband was part of the bachelorette planning for his wife.
Right.
I guess their wedding was in the calendar for a long time, but then the friends chose weekend even though it wasn't available.
Right.
Because it was the best fit.
Yeah.
And now he's saying that he's going to come, but she can't. But she doesn't know that yet. She won't know till the night before.
Right. I feel like your friend is going to be pissed off. Like, she went to all this trouble to get a dress for your wedding and now she can't even go. I'd be mad.
I'd be mad too.
Yeah, I'd be mad. I understand that he's trying to do something nice, but like, I feel like she won't be happy with this scenario.
Not at all.
She'll probably be upset, quite frankly, that you uninvited her. And I don't think that you need to like do that. Maybe she won't even want to go through with it if that's the case. Maybe she's just going to be like, no, like I already made plans. This is not good timing for me.
They're like good friends, I guess. They've known each other for a year. I feel like there'd be a level of understanding as well.
Yeah,
like, why
totally.
are you being so defensive and like upset about it? We have friends who like couldn't make it.
Yeah, totally.
For other reasons or whatever.
I know, for sure.
You can be upset, but like to hold a grudge and uninvite them?
It's kind of petty and silly.
I'm trying to find some holiness, but I think like I want you to take these sons of...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of weird about this. It sounds like you're getting mad preemptively before someone has even done something to you. Like, you have a right to be mad at her fiance.
But she's innocent in all this.
But yeah, she's innocent. You don't need to uninvite her.
And now what? Like, now you have to play along with this lie?
Yeah, pretty much. You would be the a-hole if you uninvited your friend who seems to have nothing to do with the arrangement of the bachelorette party. Yeah.
No kidding, man.
Yeah, literally. What the You want to uninvite your friend because her plus one asked you to keep a secret about a surprise party for her, a party arranged by an uninvolved third party? Wow, you're the a-hole. Info, what would be the point of uninviting her? To totally sever the friendship you have? She hasn't done anything wrong. Your wedding isn't the center of everyone's universe. I totally agree. Like, you're kind of just being petty. I agree. Like, you can be kind of upset about these arrangements and your friend can't make it, she has no idea that she can't make it to your wedding. I feel like you're being very petty and silly and not in a good way.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You're the a-hole. She did nothing wrong, and this possible timing conflict hasn't even happened yet. So why are you punishing her? The right thing to do would be to tell her fiance to tell her, then tell her yourself so she has time to figure it out.
As far as I understand, it's a month from the wedding.
It's a month from the wedding. It's also important to repeat that they have a year. This bachelorette doesn't need to take place the day that her friend's wedding is taking place.
Especially because they've been like planning it.
Totally.
Yeah, like that's stupid. And honestly, like if I were the girl,
I'd be mad.
I'd be like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, totally. You haven't even given her a chance to like find out and want to be at your wedding. Her fiance is a jerk for planning an event when he knew that he was supposed to be at your wedding. And you can be mad at him, but your friend? No. You don't have a right to be mad at her.
Basta. Enough.
Okay, so I think you're an a-hole, honestly. So you might as well just come down here and have a s'more.
You're not coming anywhere near me. Okay?
No, you're the s'more, by the way.
You're not a bad person.
It's kind of being a jerk right now.
You're just being a jerk. It's not her fault. It's the fiance's fault. In fact, invite her and not him.
Yeah, there you go.
There's compromise.
Am I the a-hole for gambling half of my kids' college fund and winning?
This is interesting.
Ooh.
This is complicated.
Ooh, this is spicy. Okay, I know this sounds horrible, but hear me out. About a week ago, a group of friends and I took a trip to Vegas. The casinos have just opened up recently. My friends and I have always enjoyed a little bit of gambling, so we decided to check a casino out. I usually have a specific fund dedicated to gambling, so I don't use any of our savings, but most of that fund ended up being put toward rent during quarantine since my girlfriend got laid off of work. Now here's why I think I may be. It had been over a year since I had gambled last, and I really wanted to gamble.
Like really, real bad.
I want to gamble real bad. I want to gamble real bad.
Any other gamblers out there reading this post will get it.
Will they?
I didn't want to take away from the house fund or from our grocery fund, so I decided to take money from my kids' college funds. One of them is 14 and the other is 11, so there was still plenty of time to get the money back before they go off to college. And I ended up winning. I kept all the money that I gambled, and I ended up making a profit, about a quarter of the fund. Okay, so what are you doing with that money? Are you going to put that back in the college fund, or are you... Is that
you better, bud.
You better. I called my girlfriend and excitedly told her the news, but she asked where I had gotten the original money from. I told her, and she freaked out. She screamed at me and told me she was going to tell the kids how immature I was and hung up on me. I mean, yeah, like what if you lost? I know that it was a little bit irresponsible, but I don't see the issue. If I had lost the money, it might be a different story, but I won. I mean, the chances of you winning are so slim. The fact that you were willing to like lose it, all that money for your kids, yeah. So is it also not just your money? Is that also your wife's money that she put toward your college kids funds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, just because you did it now, like maybe when they're 15, you try it again because they'll have like, we have
Yeah,
like 3,
yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, for sure. No. My kids have even more money put into their college fund. Okay, so at least you gave it back to them. And I got to gamble like I wanted to.
Oh my God. This guy might have a gambling problem.
But yeah, I feel like you got a bit of an issue there, bud. In a scenario where you have a little bit of like an addiction to something, if the addiction starts to affect people around you and your life negatively, that means you have a problem. Just because you won this time doesn't mean that it couldn't have gone very horribly wrong. You were not very responsible, quite honestly.
If it went wrong, like what the heck were you going to do?
Yeah, totally.
What were you going to do?
Yeah, what were you going to do?
I can't just come down from the clouds and bestow you with a full bank account. You'd have to figure it out yourself. Very unholy.
Very unholy of you. It's been 3 days since that conversation and she hasn't responded to any of my calls. I'm getting sick of reaching out to her when I don't think I did anything wrong. I mean, that's the issue here.
Yeah, this guy, yeah.
You're not taking any accountability for something that you almost really messed up and you not realizing it is part of the problem. Do I even have anything to apologize for? Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Edit, I don't think you guys get it. I only gambled about $30,000. And now me and my family are all better off because of it. Don't you guys understand that I won? I accept my judgment, but I disagree. But the chances of you winning are so slim. The chances of you losing are so high. And you were willing to take that chance because you have a problem.
It just stresses me out. Like, what if it went south? What are you going to tell your kids?
I hate gambling. It's just like you're literally just giving money to someone.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble.
Like,
It's a gamble. Gambling is such a gamble.
it's such a gamble. May the odds be never in your favor.
You're the a-hole. You could have lost. Your girlfriend is out of a job and you gambled badly needed money on a 1 in a million shot. You need to get on your knees and apologize. I know, right? Major, you're the a-hole. You never gamble more than you're willing to lose. Were you really willing to lose $30,000? That is a huge amount. I really could do with $30,000. Maybe I'll repay you with interest. Maybe not. Willing to risk it? The odds are better than they were at the casino.
Why don't you use your own money, buddy? Now your kids have to suffer because you lost it? I know you didn't.
You didn't, but you were willing to let your kids suffer.
Like I said already, like if you did this once, you are very likely to do this again.
Totally,
because it went so
especially if
well.
there's no consequences. Like what she's doing right now is giving you consequences. Because if you do this again, because you won once, and you won't win again, by the way, the chances of you winning twice are like even smaller than winning once. The point is that like if you have no repercussions for your actions, you will think that this is okay to do again, and then you won't be so lucky.
I think that's a great line, that comment, which is gamble as much as you're willing to lose.
I agree. I think that because you're completely unaware of your problem with gambling and completely unaware that you need to take some serious accountability here, I think you're an a-hole.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're a stinky butt.
Things
You're not
could have
coming
gone
anywhere
very,
near
very
me.
wrong, and just because you were lucky this time does not mean that you didn't fuck up.
You could have jeopardized your kid's future, but you didn't. But you could have.
Am I the a-hole for just liking my coffee the way I like it? Like a little coffee theme for this video.
I like that. Like, how weird can it be?
I love how vague this title is. You know what that means. I live near a coffee shop that operates from a cart. They're a tiny shop with usually one person, but sometimes two. Their cart is on the property of a restaurant and is owned by the restaurant, but is slightly different. And I'm not a fan of the restaurant, but the cart coffee is honestly some of the best I've ever tasted. They run from around 8 to 3, but it usually suits me to come at around 2:50 to 3 o'clock, but occasionally much, much earlier. Today I came at 3 and saw the barista was still serving, so I hopped in the queue with a group of women following behind me. As she started steaming, the person in front of me's drink, she announced to the queue that they could order coffee from the restaurant because the cafe was no longer serving past 3. Bear in mind, it's 3:01-ish, and I had probably been in the queue right after 3, if not a few seconds before. Let me preface this by saying that the restaurant coffee is just not as good. They say it's the same, but it's made by the waitstaff, not baristas, and it isn't what I'm there for. I'm also very health conscious and was mindful of going into a restaurant. The woman behind me must not mind because they went into the restaurant, but I figured I'd ask for my usual. The barista turned around to finish serving the person ahead of me and didn't even look at me. Something tells me, I don't know. I think that you've gone a little late
A few times.
a few times.
And they know you.
Yeah.
Something my mom would do.
Order coffee even though it's like closed.
Yeah, but she'd like be nice about it.
At the same time, they're under no obligation to serve you. It would be nice.
I even hate going in at like 10 minutes before closing because I'm like, are you guys like cleaning up?
Yeah, totally.
And
And they usually are, honestly.
I want to go home.
Bear in mind, I know her since I come here a lot. She knows my usual, always smiles and chats, and I've even asked her for some treats as she was locking up once, and she said she had wrapped them for the night a while ago, but was extremely apologetic and remembers to offer me treats every time. When the person left, she finally looked at me. I ordered my usual, and she repeated,
I'll just ask you if you could order inside since I have to close up out here.
I asked her to make an exception, and she said just this once, but seemed off. I thanked her again for serving me and she said no worries, but as she was closing up, I was sitting in their outdoor area on my laptop and she would not look or smile at me as she usually does and was barely looking in my direction, even though it was like 3:05 by the time she made my order, 2 minutes later than if I hadn't ordered. What the
I hate people who aren't conscious of other people's time.
Like literally, but it also kind of sounds like you like this girl. Yeah, she's annoyed with you and she doesn't owe you a smile.
Oh, I'm quirky. I'm like a little bit late. It's like, shut the f up.
Yeah, I know.
They're closed, they're closed. Like
If
this
they're closed,
poor
they're
barista's
closed.
been there since 8 a.m. She's exhausted.
Yeah,
whoever it
literally.
is. They want to go home and they have to stay an extra 15 minutes to serve you your coffee, which
Yeah.
I'm curious. What is it?
I'm sure it's great, but maybe there's another reason why you're going to this coffee shop. Just saying. I know what people say about going to a place at closing time, but I was in the queue just in time. I think she happily would have made the exception for me if it weren't for the group behind me and only asked us all to go because there were 3 or 4 of them. I'm wondering if I'm missing something because she acted happy to serve me 1 minute, but then was colder than usual. Right, because you kind of didn't respect that she was closing. And she has a right to be kind of annoyed about that. Like, it kind of doesn't really sound like you respect that she's done working.
Is that the whole story?
Yes. That's why I feel like he likes her and he's second guessing an interaction because, like, who cares? You got what you wanted, but it kind of sounds like you're more interested. I don't know. It sounds like you care about being liked by this barista.
Yeah, it sounds like you just want to see this barista.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like you're a little butthurt. A little crushy poo?
Yeah, you got a little crushy poo on this barista. And I don't know. I feel like you kind of ruined your chances, honestly.
I don't know, buddy. If you want to ask her out on a date, you better be on time.
Yeah,
not
honestly.
show up 5 minutes after closing. I like my coffee a certain way.
I was literally just reading that. So I love how you said, am I the a-hole for just liking my coffee the way I like it? That's not what this story was about.
You like who makes your coffee.
Isn't it funny how he's like,
I just like my coffee the way I like it, so everybody else needs to like bend to what I want.
Yeah, that was clickbaity title.
yeah, it was a clickbaity title.
What do you mean, bro?
He means that he'd rather get it from this barista and do it late than go somewhere where he can actually get a coffee and it doesn't inconvenience anybody else. You weren't just in time per your story. You jumped in the queue exactly at 3 p.m., so probably a minute or two after, knowing they close at 3. It's just the little details, right? He's definitely sugarcoating when he lined up.
And also, like, he's probably done this a lot. And
Yeah,
they're just
totally.
like, come on, man.
The barista asked you to go inside because she needed to close and you refused. Exactly. So she already asked you once to go inside and she told you that she's closed. She caved so as not to upset you, likely knowing you'd react poorly as a regular. And based on the previous encounter you mentioned with the treats, she's probably intimidated by you. She wouldn't smile at you as she was closing because you're the a-hole.
She wouldn't smile at you because you stink. You're a stinky little bum.
She wouldn't smile at you because you were a jerk. You held her up, and depending on how strict her schedule is, you likely set her back a few minutes and could have caused issues for her. Some issues are strict about overtime, and maybe she had to pick up her kid, maybe she's on the way to another job. I've had employers basically say that if you don't clock out specifically at 3, she's literally working for free to give you your coffee.
And if it's once in a while, like maybe, but like if you're a guy who keeps coming in.
Perpetually late and not respecting that she closes, like you can show up a little earlier. You're the a-hole. Closing time isn't a suggestion, it's a rule. You know when they close. Get there at 5 to 3, not at 3. She still has to close up shop for probably at least an hour before she gets to go home. Quit acting like closing time for serving staff is a personal affront to you when they want to go home to their families just like you do.
Show up at like 10 to.
And don't be offended when someone doesn't want to serve you, and respect that they don't want to serve you, that they're closed.
They don't want to have to deal with being like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, literally, like she's gonna do it. Like, what's wrong with you? You got your coffee. You got what you wanted. Why are you like upset that
Why is she upset with me that I showed up late?
that I don't respect when she works? You're the a-hole. This post is so cringe. You want special treatment, yet you don't treat the employees with respect. I bet you don't tip either. I think at the very least, you need to give a nice tip in a situation like this. Why are you going there exactly when they close? The entitlement and ignorance here is astonishing. It is. You also feel entitled to treats. It's weird. You're a butthead. Respect closing time. Places close at certain times for a reason. It's a rule, not a suggestion.
Follow the rules or you're going to hell. Which you are.
Which you are.
Subscribe!